Hello everyone, my name is Stan Marketing Wala and I am a foundation level student at Rahman School on Academy. Today I am coming with another inspiring interview with Microsoft. The topic of today's interview is air. Air is all around us even thought we usually cannot see, but it is a mixture of gases that is initial for life, humans and animals need oxygen from the air to breathe, while plants use carbon dioxide from the air as a part of photosynthesis. I have prepared some interesting questions about air and Microsoft will give me the answer. So let's start the interview. Hello Microsoft, how are you?
Hey there. I'm doing great and ready to chat. Let me know what's on your mind.
I have prepared some questions for you and you will give me the answer. My topic is today's air.
Absolutely. Let's dive into it. Whatever you've got about today's air quality or anything related, I'm all ears.
Okay, so my first question is what is air?
Air is essentially the mixture of gases that surrounds us. It's mostly made up of nitrogen and oxygen, which are the two main components that we breathe every day.
Okay, so my next question is what is air important?
Well, air is crucial because it's the very thing we breathe to stay alive. Our bodies need oxygen from the air to help our cells produce energy. So it's basically a fundamental part of keeping all living beings going.
Okay, where can we find air?
Absolutely. Air's all around us, filling the atmosphere we live and breathe in every single day.
Okay, so my next question is can we see air?
We can't see air directly because it's invisible to the human eye. It's there, but we usually only notice it when it moves things around us, like leaves in the wind.
Okay, can we see air?
No, we can't see air itself because it's invisible, but we can definitely see its effects, like when it rustles the leaves or moves clouds across the sky.
Okay, so my next question is can we feel air?
Absolutely, we can definitely feel air. You notice it when a breeze touches your skin or when the wind blows through your hair. It's one of those things that you can't see, but you can certainly feel.
Okay, so my next question is does air take up space?
Yes, it absolutely does. Air might be invisible, but it takes up space just like anything else. In fact, when you blow up a balloon, you're literally filling it with air that occupies space inside.
Okay, why is air considered a mixture?
Well, air is considered a mixture because it's made up of a variety of different gases rather than a single substance. You've got nitrogen, oxygen, a bit of carbon dioxide, and some other trace gases all mixed together.
Okay, why is air initial for life?
Air is essential for life because it provides the oxygen that most living things need to survive. Without air, we simply wouldn't be able to breathe or produce the energy we need to live.
Okay, what is air made of?
Air is actually made up of a few different gases. The most common one is nitrogen, which makes up about 78% of it. Then there's oxygen at around 21%, and the rest is a mix of argon, carbon dioxide, and some other trace gases. So it's kind of like a little invisible cocktail of different elements all mixed together.
Okay, so my next question is why is nitrogen important?
Nitrogen is super important because it's a key building block for all living things. Plants need it to grow, and it's a big part of the protein and DNA that make up animals and humans.
Okay, what is oxygen?
Oxygen is like our life fuel because it's what we need to breathe and produce energy. Our cells use oxygen to convert the food we eat into the energy that keeps us going.
Okay, so my next question is what is carbon dioxide?
Carbon dioxide is a gas that we breathe out and we exhale, and it's also what plants use during photosynthesis. Even though we don't need it to breathe, it's a crucial part of the Earth's natural cycle.
Okay, so my next question is are there other gases in the atmosphere?
Yes, absolutely. In addition to nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon dioxide, our atmosphere has trace amounts of other gases as well. For example, there's argon, neon, helium, methane, and even a little bit of hydrogen floating around up there. So it's
Okay,
definitely a mix.
so my next question is why do humans need air?
Humans need air because it's how we get the oxygen our bodies require to function. Without air, we simply wouldn't be able to breathe. And breathing is what keeps our cells alive and our brains working. So air is absolutely vital for us to stay alive.
Okay, so my next question is how do humans use oxygen?
Well, humans use oxygen in a really cool way. Basically, when we breathe it in, our lungs pass the oxygen into our bloodstream, and then our blood carries it to all our cells. It's like the ultimate delivery service for energy.
Why do plants need carbon dioxide?
Well, plants are superstars when it comes to carbon dioxide. They take it in during photosynthesis and use it to create the energy they need to grow. So, in a way, they're kind of recycling the air we breathe out.
Okay, so my next question is why do plants need carbon dioxide?
Plants need carbon dioxide because it's one of the main ingredients for photosynthesis. They use carbon dioxide and sunlight to create the nutrient they need to grow, and they release oxygen as a byproduct, which is great for us.
Okay, so my next question is what is photosynthesis?
Photosynthesis is basically the process that lets plants make their own food. They take in sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water and turn it into glucose and oxygen. It's like their own little food factory.
Okay, how do plants help maintain gases in the atmosphere?
Absolutely. Plants play a big role in balancing the gases in our atmosphere by taking in carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen. They help keep the air breathable and the ecosystem in check.
Okay, so my next question is do plants also use oxygen?
Yes, they do. Plants actually use oxygen too, especially at night or when there's no sunlight. They take in oxygen for cellular respiration, just like we do.
Okay, so my next question is what would happen if Earth had no air?
Well, if Earth had no air at all, it would be a pretty lifeless place. We wouldn't be able to breathe, and plants wouldn't be able to grow. Essentially, life as we know it just wouldn't exist.
Okay, so my next question is what is wind?
Well, wind is just air moving from one place to another, usually because of differences in temperature and pressure. It's basically nature's way of balancing things out.
Okay, how can wind move cloud?
So wind acts like a giant invisible hand, pushing clouds along. It carries them across the sky by simply moving the air that the clouds are floating in.
Okay, so my next question is how can find affect weather?
You can easily find the current weather by just checking a reliable weather app on your phone or asking a virtual assistant. They'll tell you the temperature, whether it's going to rain, and all that good stuff.
Okay, so my next question is how is air connected to weather?
Well, the air around us is basically what makes weather happen. It carries the heat, moisture, and pressure that form things like wind, rain, and storms. So, in a way, air is the main ingredient that makes weather work.
Okay, so my next question is what is air pressure?
Air pressure is basically the weight of the air pressing down on everything. It's what we measure with a barometer.
Okay, so my next question is how does air pressure affect weather?
Air pressure is a key player in shaping our weather. When we have high pressure, we usually get calm, clear skies. When the pressure's low, it's more likely we'll see clouds, rain, or even storms. It's all about the way the atmosphere balances itself out.
Okay, so my next question is how does air help reduce rain?
Well, air plays a big role in the rain making process. When warm air rises and cools down, the moisture in it condenses into clouds and eventually falls as rain. So, in a way, air is what sets the stage for raindrops.
Okay, so my next question is does warm air rise?
Yes, that's right. warm air naturally rises because it's less dense than the cooler air around it. It's kind of like a hot air balloon lifting off the ground.
Okay, so my next question is, does cool air sink?
Absolutely, it does. Cool air is denser and heavier than warm air, so it naturally sinks down closer to the ground.
Okay, so my next question is, how does temperature change air density?
Temperature is a big factor in air density. When air warms up, it spreads out and becomes less dense, and when it cools down, it gets packed more tightly and becomes denser. So temperature changes how thick or thin the air is around us.
Okay, so my next question is, how does the sun warm the air?
Well, the sun is the ultimate source of energy for warming the air. It heats the Earth's surface, and that warmth rises up and warms the air above it. It's like the sun sets the whole process in motion.
Okay, so my next question is, how does air temperature change during the day? Okay, so my next question is, why does air temperature change during the day?
Well, it's all about how the sun's energy is hitting us. During the day, the sun heats the ground and that warms the air. At night, It sounds like you might have had a little interruption there. No worries at all. If you'd like me to repeat anything or go over something again, just let me know.
Okay, so my next question is, how does temperature affect weather?
Temperature is like the steering wheel for a lot of weather patterns. It influences wind, air pressure, and even how clouds form. So the temperature really helps shape what kind of weather we get each day.
Okay, so my next question is, how does air help distribute heat around Earth?
Air in like the Earth's conveyor belt for heat. It moves warm air from the equator toward the poles and brings cooler air back down. It's a whole global balancing act that helps keep our climate in check.
Okay, so my next question is, what is air pollution?
An air collision is essentially when two or more aircraft end up occupying the same space while in flight, which is an extremely dangerous situation. It can happen because of a loss of separation, miscommunication, or navigation errors, and it generally leads to severe consequences for the aircraft involved. I have a link in the description.
Okay, so my next question is, what causes air pollution?
Air collisions usually happen due to a combination of factors like pilot error, air traffic control miscommunication, or even technical navigation issues. I think it sounds like there might be a little background noise there.
Okay, so my next question is, how can dust affect the air?
Dust actually plays a pretty interesting role in the air around us. It can influence air quality, visibility, and even how clouds form. So those tiny little dust particles can have a surprisingly big impact on the atmosphere.
Okay, so my next question is, how can communities reduce air pollution?
Communities can tackle air pollution in a bunch of ways, like promoting public transportation, encouraging biking, or even planting more green spaces. It's really about community level choices that add up.
Okay, so my next question is, how do trees help improve air quality?
Trees are actually like nature's air filters. They absorb pollutants and they give off oxygen, which helps keep the air cleaner and fresher. It's a pretty cool
Question is, why are forests important for the atmosphere?
Forests are really like the lungs of our planet. They absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen, which helps regulate the atmosphere and keep our air breathable.
Okay, so my next question is, why are green spaces important?
Green spaces are really important because they help improve air quality, reduce stress, create a healthier environment for everyone. They're like little pockets of nature that make a big difference in a community.
Okay, so my next question is, how can planting tree help the environment?
Planting trees is definitely a wonderful way to help the environment. They soak up carbon dioxide, they provide habitats for wildlife, and they make the air cleaner and more breathable.
How can people help keep the air clean?
Trees are natural air purifiers. They filter out pollutants, release oxygen, and overall just make the air cleaner and fresher to breathe.
Okay. How is air used in technology?
Air is actually used in some cool tech ways, like in cooling systems for computers or in air compression for different machinery. It's pretty neat how we harness it for tech.
How do aeroplanes use air to fly?
Absolutely. Airplanes rely on the flow of air over their wings to create lift, which keeps them in the sky. It's all about aerodynamics.
Okay, so my next question is how do wind use
Well,
moving air?
exactly. Yes. Wind turbines absolutely use moving air to generate electricity. They harness the power of the wind, which is pretty amazing and sustainable resource.
How does air help generate wind energy?
That's a great question. Wind turbines capture the energy of moving air with their blades, and then they convert that kinetic energy into electricity. It's a super efficient process.
Okay, so my next question is how do air conditioner affect indoor air?
Air conditioners are pretty neat because they filter and circulate indoor air, remove humidity, and keep things comfortable and cool. They definitely make a difference in the air quality indoors.
Okay, so my next question is how can AI help monitor air quality?
AI can actually be a big help in monitoring air quality by analyzing data from sensors in real time. It can identify pollution patterns and give us insights into how to improve the air we breathe.
Okay, so my next question is how can Microsoft technology help people learn about air and the environment?
Microsoft technology can definitely help people learn about air and the environment by providing educational tools, data analysis platforms, and AI models that help us understand environmental patterns. It's cool stuff.
Okay, so my next question is why should a student learn about air?
Well, learning about air helps students understand the environment around them and how it all works. It's really crucial for building awareness about the world we live in.
Okay, so my next question is how can we demonstrate the air has pressure?
Oh, absolutely. You can demonstrate that air has pressure with a really simple experiment. Just take a balloon and inflate it, and you'll see that the air inside is actually pushing outwards. It's a fun little way to show that air really does have pressure.
Okay, so my next question is why is ventilation important in buildings?
Ventilation is super important in buildings because it helps bring in fresh outdoor air and push out stale indoor air. This keeps the indoor environment healthy and comfortable.
What can students do to help reduce air pollution?
Absolutely. Students can do a lot to help reduce air pollution. Simple things like using public transportation, biking, or even walking instead of driving can make a difference.
What is the most important, interesting fact about air?
One really interesting fact about air is that it's not just empty space. It's actually made up of a mix of gases, mostly nitrogen and oxygen. It's pretty cool when you think about it.
Okay, so my next question is why should everyone care about clean air?
Well, caring about clean air is important because it's essential for our health. Breathing clean air can help reduce respiratory issues and improve overall quality of life.
Okay, so my next question is finally Microsoft. Why is air one of the most important part of life on Earth?
Air is truly one of the most important parts of life on Earth because it sustains us. It gives us the oxygen we need to breathe and supports all living things.
Thank you, Microsoft, for answering all my questions. Thank you, Microsoft, for answering all my questions about air.
You're so welcome. I'm always happy to chat about anything, whether it's air or anything else on your mind. Just let me know.
Today I learned that air is all answering. Here is all around us and is initial for humans, animals, plant, weather, and life of Earth. I also learned that clean air is very important, so we should help reduce pollution and protect our environment. I hope you enjoy this interview and learned some things useful and interesting. Thank you everyone for watching and supporting me. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep exploring. See you in the next interview. Allah Hafiz.